So far, I like their team chemistry. You know how they're gelling as a group. We have a lot of new faces in terms of young kids, and you know they're just doing a good job. And I think it's a testament to our seniors who are kind of getting them together, and you know everybody is working very hard, and you know they seem to enjoy being out here and playing football. And so I really like that from a young team, especially with a lot of new kids.
On the flip, or I guess kind of correlating it, you guys jumped into a new conference last year, so those guys that were playing a lot got a new taste of some different teams on Friday night. You guys come in and win the conference right off the bat. What do these guys take away from that experience, if anything? Because as you mentioned, some young faces this year, but they saw it happen.
Right. Well, you know, one, I think it was good for our underclassmen to see it, to see that, you know, it could be accomplished with hard work, and they also saw the competitive nature of this new league. Even our young kids, the freshmen, and even our junior high kids, you know, they were playing in a new league with these new teams, and they saw, you know, how hard you have to work and how well you have to play to succeed. You know, when you have, you know, really good programs, well-coached programs in the NE8. So I think that was good for us to see, and our younger underclassmen to see. And as they came through the summer, they did a nice job, and they're working very hard right now to try to be successful this year.
When you take a look at what you guys have coming back offensively, obviously you graduated some key positions. Where are you at offensively, and where are some of the positions that you're looking to have some new guys step up?
Yeah, well, I'll start with the quarterback position. We have two athletes right now working there, junior Max Minnick and sophomore AJ Restivo. You know, both of them do a nice job, and so they have a little competition there at quarterback. You know, at running back, we have Trenton Bonner, who last year played more slot receiver, but he's going to kind of play a little bit of both this year, slot and tailback. We have a senior who came in named Chris Farrell, and a senior named Jay Sean Parks, who this is their first year playing after a couple of years off, and so they're doing a nice job being out here at running back. O-line, we have two seniors that kind of anchor that for us, Jordan Roberts and Brendan Zeisloft. And so we have spots that we have some experience, but we have to fill in with some new faces. You know, we have a couple sophomores who are working in the offensive line right now, a couple juniors who are working in at receiver. So, you know, all those guys they've been in the program, but they're new to varsity football on Friday nights, and so that's where they're trying to kind of build up to.
You've had a pretty good run of solid, if not spectacular, quarterback play here at Leo during your tenure here. What are you looking for in a starting quarterback, and what are some of the things that these guys can do well on a Friday night?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with being able just to kind of lead and manage a huddle. We tell them they don't have to, you know, be the best leader on the team, but offensively they need to be able to manage the huddle and get our guys in a tempo, and you know, get us going there and be able to do the little things right to help us compete and win on a Friday. And that's where we're starting with really both AJ and Max as they work towards you know, maybe a varsity position. You know, then as the season progresses, hope that experience will get him, you know, in the passing game, making the right reads and doing all that stuff.
Defensively, I think people always talk about Leo's offense, but your defense, I believe, only gave up like 11.8 points a game last season, but they had a lot of seniors on it. So how many starters do you have coming back on defense, and what are some of the things you were looking to improve upon in fall camp to be ready to play defensively in 2016?
Well, we only have three seniors coming back defensively. That would be safety Jason Goss, who's moving from a corner position. We have a junior linebacker in Ty Castellan, and then we have another linebacker who's actually making a transition from defensive tackle, Jaden Elwood. Jaden started as a freshman last year, did a great job, especially at the end of the year, and so we're moving him to inside. So, you know, those are the only three that really had significant, you know, varsity time. We do have a defensive end, J.T. Wanglikowski, who was a all-conference player for us, who unfortunately tore his ACL in the spring. So he could be back in later in the season. But you know, we're kind of building from those three who know it. But then again, we have a lot of young kids and a lot of spots that we're still trying to fill, where young kids are competing. And we like what we see so far with a lot of our sophomores and juniors, and you know how they got out here this summer and worked and lifted, and you know, so like I said, there's 8 spots on the defense that people are kind of competing and fighting for, and you know, it's only day 4, so we don't have a solid grasp on who it's going to be yet, but we have two or three guys who are working in those spots to try to earn a varsity position.
How would you characterize this Leo team at this point in the season, and what, if there's one thing that you're focusing on to get ready for August 19th, what would it be?
Well, we having so many young kids, we're kind of focusing on playing physical and being physical, and then game speed and playing fast, because a lot of them are coming from freshman football or JV football, and it's a different deal on a Friday night with the game speed and the physicality of the game. And so, we're trying to get them to the point where they're practicing fast and they're physical in practice as much as possible that we can do. And so that's really what we're focused on right now, early on, and as we move into next week as well, is trying to build up, game speed like practices and physical practices, so they're prepared on Friday night for what that game is going to be like.
The final question for me, you take a look at last season, a 10-win Leo team, you win a conference in a new conference. But the kick against Bishop Dwenger, I mean, you're talking a 24-22 game. They go on to win the state championship in 4A. Does that serve as motivation for these guys, or they don't forget it, or they don't even think about it because they're really focused on what you guys are trying to do in terms of gaining experience for this season?
They think about it. Yeah, they think about it. They talk about it, and they see, they those who were here and were a part of it last year, they saw how close they were, and how they competed in the last part of the season and in that game. I think they're hungry for it, and they're going to try to take the young kids with them and show them that with a little bit of work and a little bit of leadership, we can get there again. Now we got a long way to go, and every year is new, and that with your seniors, and every group, every team has different seniors. A new group of seniors, new leadership, and so forth. So, it's exciting to see how things are going to kind of develop through the year. But I think our kids see it a little bit as motivation, as we want to get back there. We want to play in November again and compete for a sectional championship, and hopefully be successful.
Anything else you'd like to add, Coach?
Nope, I'm good.